Welcome, welcome. I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to join in. I know YouTube is going to be sending out notifications, and um, I'll give it a minute. But welcome everyone who's already here. I'm so glad you guys got to join in. Happy New Year! Yes, hello, Jacqueline. Hello. My name is Evelyn of Pink Sheep Design, and this is the first Tuesday live chat of the year. So we are going to be talking about New Year stuff, which is pretty exciting. I mean, it's kind of crazy. 2023. I feel like I felt the same way about 2022. It's been a crazy couple of years, both good and bad. There's been a lot happening, so just happy to be here, happy to get to share some time with you guys, and ring in the new year with my crochet friends. So let's see. Hello, Jess. Well, let me know what you guys did for New Year's. So let's start out with that. I would love to know what you guys did for the new year, how you rang the new year in. We ended up having some friends over for the new year, which was really fun. I don't know, sorry if I go in and out of focus. Sometimes my phone and the YouTube app don't like each other. I see Mickey is here. Hello. Oh, and I have my comments over on my computer, so I'll probably be looking over here so I can see what is happening. Winter is here. Pastel Dreams, good morning. Sindra is here. Hello. Jess just finished watching Game of Thrones and worked on a crochet scrappy blanket for New Year's. Sindra also was just crocheting for New Year's. Yeah, we had two couples that came over, which was really nice. It wasn't too big of a gathering. It was nice. We got to play some games. We got to drink a little more than normal. I'm not really a drinker. I'll share that with you guys. I had enough of that in college. But sometimes New Year's, sometimes it is a little bit of an excuse to drink a little bit more than usual and, play some fun games, and that was really enjoyable. I will share with you guys, I didn't really share this on social media. It's one of those things that you just, I felt kind of weird. I posted on my personal Facebook page, which feel free to friend me. Some of you guys, if we've had those kinds of interactions, I'm not averse to having some of my crochet friends on my personal Facebook page. But my grandfather passed away on Christmas this year. I got the news from his stepdaughter, from his last marriage before he passed away, on that he had passed away that morning on Christmas. I had not had the closest relationship with him because it was my mother's father, and he lost his wife. So my grandmother passed away when I was about 7 years old. And then my mother passed away when I was about 10, 11 years old. So, my grandfather just, talk about dealing with some really difficult things. He lost his wife and his only daughter just within the span of a few years. And at that point, when he finally was able to kind of move on with his life, he dated some other people, finally got remarried. I was in, I think I was still in college when he got remarried. And then by the time my husband and I moved to to Atlanta, which was maybe 2014, my grandfather then lost his second wife. And so it was just, he was one of those people that just went through so many things and somehow managed to still be one of the most positive, radiant, kind people you would ever know. And although I didn't get to be as close to him as I would have liked as I got older, it's still sad, and it's still my grandfather, and I still have a lot of great, memories of him and when I was growing up. And so we actually had his service on New Year's. So that morning we went to Coleman. had his service, and my husband actually asked me if I wanted to cancel our New Year's plans because we had to go to the funeral. And I said, no, that's the last thing I would want to do is come home and be by ourselves. I know my grandfather would have wanted us to, enjoy ourselves on New Year's and celebrate life and, all of those wonderful things. So it's a little bit of a strange New Year's this year. But that's life, right? I mean, that's literally life in a nutshell. Strange, weird, wonderful, sometimes sad and sorrowful, but we find the balance, and if you can find the balance, I think that's probably key, you know. Um, well, we have a lot of people here today. I'm super excited that you guys were able to join. Thank you so much. And I did not mean to start that out on a sad note. I just wanted the opportunity to share with you guys because, like I said, that's something I think we all talk about how social media can be very one-sided. It can show the good things and the happy things and the helpful things, and sometimes you don't see the other things that are happening. And I'm not one to like to share those things sometimes because it is personal. But you want to be honest. It is me. I'm the face of the brand. The brand is me. That is who I am. And things aren't always sunshine and rainbows, even if I want them to be. That's life. That's life. And I live a very similar life to a lot of you guys. We deal with a lot of the same kinds of things. And I think it's important to find a way to share that. Even if it's not just the fully public facing. So these are the great opportunities for me to do that because we can go live and I can share things with you guys here that I might not share on Instagram or the Facebook group and things like that. So I'm just so appreciative to have you guys and have this community, and thank you guys for your condolences. I appreciate it. Another cloudy day is here. Critters Crochet is here. Hello. Jess says, I think one of the best ways to celebrate and honor someone's life is to live well and carry on. I completely agree. It can be very difficult, and it depends on the relationship that you had with that person. If you were extremely close to them, it's different. It's a different situation. For my grandfather, it was time. It had been time for a while. He dealt with some issues, some health issues that made it difficult, especially towards the end. Hello, Captain Fabulous. I'm glad to have you here. Mo's Misfit Toy says, thank you for being so transparent. That has always been one of my top goals. So I am glad to do it. I just want you guys to know this is me. This is who I am. And I like to get to know you guys as well. And welcome, Thorn. I'm glad you are here. So I wanted to find out from you guys. I know a couple of you guys shared, but I'm going to give you guys a second to share what you guys did for New Year's. If you did anything fun or special for New Year's to ring in the new year, I would love to know. And yes, Jess, it can be much harder and take a longer amount of time if you were very close to the person. And Thorn says, transparent squad, go. Exactly. Yes. So I've got my coffee. I have some things that we get to chat about today and some things that we get to share. And I'm going to give you guys a lot of sneak peeks today of things that will not be releasing until we get a little bit further into the new year. You may have seen a few of them, but I like to kind of plan ahead and have things ready for release. It makes my life a lot easier. So I have some things I get to share with you guys today and some things that are available now that are new for the new year. Oh, needed the coffee. Thorn says, I had a great time with my friends at the writing retreat. We did NYE divination. I don't know what, New Year's Eve. I'm like, NYE, New York, not New York City, that's NYC. The wheels are turning. More coffee. Cheers. Mickey made a granny square on New Year's Eve. You know what I thought would be really fun? So I've always thought, we use a lot of yarn. We have scrap yarn left over. I remember one year I made a scrappy hat for New Year's, but I'm like, you're not going to have that many scraps every single year. And so I thought, what if you did a scrappy granny square every single year on New Year's? And then in a couple of years, you could make yourself a blanket. I mean, it'd probably be a lot of years, but you could make as many granny squares as you could with your leftover yarn and have these scrappy squares that you could make into a blanket, right? Wouldn't that be cool? I don't know why that just hit me because Mickey said that she made the granny square. So, there we go. Jess, the older I get, the more I have no time for people that are just putting on a show. Being real is awesome. Super agree. My husband and I have been having that conversation for a while now of, we want to spend time around people that want to spend time with us, number one, and that's a big one. Can't tell you how many times I've tried to make friends with people and you feel like you're pulling teeth to be like, come out, come hang out, like we want to be around people that want to be around with us, be around us. So it's a mutual, so it's like both of us are inviting each other to do things and both of us want to spend time together. And the other one is being around people where you truly feel like you can be yourself. You can have the conversations about anything. You don't feel like you have to walk on glass or do things where you're having to like hide parts of yourself or, be someone that you're not to spend time with them. So that's been, as we've grown up, it's figuring out who we want to spend our time with, who we want to be around. And I think that's really important. And it's something to think about in the new year. Are there people in your life who are not bringing you that joy, bringing you that fulfillment? Maybe it is bringing you down to try to maintain that relationship. And those are really difficult things to do when it comes to letting go of relationships, letting go of friendships, when you have gotten to a point in your life where maybe those don't fit into your life anymore in the way that you like. And it can be difficult, but I think it's a very cleansing thing when you realize, I want to make these difficult decisions to be around the kind of people that I want to be around. And that's something that we've had to talk about a lot as we've gotten older. Let's see. Oh, and I think I'm missing a couple of these comments. I wonder if my mouse will, oh my gosh, my mouse works way over here. That's amazing. Okay, so Thorn says I've been making granny squares a lot this week. Kim says quiet New Year's here, which is welcome. Sometimes that's exactly what you need. And Thorn says, I'm glad I'm not the only one who had to think about that acronym, even though I wrote it. Winter, hello, welcome back. And let's see. And Jess is designing a knitted mitten pattern, 2 color cables in the back of the hand. That's going to be amazing. I cannot wait to see that. And let's see. New sparkly yarn from Hobie. I have some new yarn coming from Hobie that I can't wait to share with you guys. And let's see. Thorn says, agree about being myself too. This isn't the only reason. It's weird to realize I have more business/life success when I am myself. And it can surprise you for sure. Sometimes we think that we have to be a certain way, but it just makes your life easier when you're you. And then you attract the right people who want to support you and be around you because you're you, not because you're trying to be in a certain way or a certain person. Jess says, I struggle with being social on a consistent basis or really at all. So I tell people that I struggle and it's never personal. It really is me, not them, LOL. And that's true. And I think, again, being honest is the best thing you can do. If there's something you struggle with, being transparent about the things that you struggle with makes people realize like, oh, this person's not being, a jerk. Like this is what they need for themselves. Because I do think sometimes people, will judge based on the way that you act or the things that you post or what you don't post. And I think, being transparent about that and having those conversations is the best thing you can do. And these are all great things. Like I haven't really talked about 2023 and planning and all of that, but all of these things that we're talking about, I think are really important to think about when you come into a new year is just assessing who you are, how you're putting yourself out there, especially if you're running a business or if you're active on social media for other reasons. whether you're a tester, crochet tester, whether you want to, start maybe designing some patterns, even if it's just a hobby, but you want to have samples of your work out there for people. All of these are good things to think about. Who do I want to present myself as? How do I want to present myself? Who are the people that I want to serve? Who are the people that I want to spend my time with? What do I want my community to look like? And I think this idea of community is really interesting because, I always knew that I wanted to advocate for community, but I didn't really know what that meant. I didn't realize that it doesn't matter how small your account is, the people that follow you and interact with you are a community. Even if it's just, if you start out an account and you have 25 followers, 50 followers, if those people are active and engaging, that's your community. What do you want it to look like? Who are the people that you want to attract into your community? Who are the, how do you want them to interact with you, interact with each other? And you create that feeling by the things that you post, the way that you respond to comments, the questions that you ask. You create that community. And it's kind of nice when you have less followers because you can be more specific. You can really get to know those people. Once you start getting into the thousands and thousands and thousands of followers, there's really no way for you to really get to know every single person who's following you. All you can do at that point is continue to try to project the ideas and the feelings that you want people to get when they come to your page. And like I said, it's never too early to think about community. It's never too early to realize that what you have is a community. It took me a long time. It took me, for me, it was, there are now 800 people in my Facebook group. I guess it's a community. But I had that even before then. So it's making sure that you don't set these standards to where you feel like, well, I can't even consider what I have to be this because it's not big enough or successful enough or whatever that is. It is. And I think that, it doesn't matter how many people you have within that community, it's treating them as a community, and that will continue to grow because people will enjoy it and talk about it and share. And that's how you can find that growth. So let's see. I want to make sure that I'm not missing anyone's comments. Lauren says, when I used to have terrible shyness, I'd go up to groups at events and say, hi, I'm shy and trying to make friends, and no one was ever mean about it. If you're able to do that, I know some people, the anxiety levels of even approaching a group of people would be a lot, but I think, again, being that honest, I think that's the way that we have to be with social media too. Like, if you want to make friends with someone, send them a message. And I know it seems at times crazy and overwhelming and intimidating, and like, what if, they're too busy to answer me, or, what if they don't want to be friends with me? Well, that's okay, because there's like, millions and millions of people on social media. So if one person doesn't answer, then you can reach out to someone else and just start that conversation. Winter says, who are the people I want to serve? Well, yeah, yes. As in, clients and customers. And just as I don't mean this in a negative way, social situations are often very daunting for me. It doesn't come easy, and I make Sheldon Cooper look like a social butterfly. I have to step back to recharge. And it's not a negative way. It's personality types. We all have things that we do well, things that we struggle with. And I don't think we should ever feel bad about it, if that makes sense. I think that we have to realize what we need, and then you can go from there. You can figure out what situations make it a little bit easier for you, and then you can seek out those situations. Thorn says, that's totally valid. I need lots of time to recharge too, even though I love hanging out with people. I think a lot of people are like that. You may be a little introverted, a little shy, but it's not the act of being around a lot of people in most cases that gives you all of the anxiety. It's how much the activity takes out of you. So how tired you are afterward. I was just watching a video about that. that a lot of personality types, the introverted side of you is the side of you that being around a lot of people just takes all of your energy, you know, so then you feel like you need 2 or 3 days to recharge and be ready to do that again. And just as the fiber community has been very nice. I do okay teaching people or talking in front of the room, but small group or one-on-one can be a lot. Then as you know, Evelyn, there's the fainting goat thing I've got going on. It freaks people. Yeah. Okay, so I am very excited to share today because we're 20 minutes in, and I really wanted to share a little bit about something new that I did this year. If you were on my email list, you got an email yesterday that already, you know, cat's out of the bag. And if you're in my Discord group for crochet testing, you found out about this much earlier because I got some opinions for things before I did this. But one of my big goals for myself has been to write a book. I've always wanted to write a book, you know, and at some point I will actually write a book that's content heavy, but I decided to dip my toe in with self-publishing this year and make something that was a little less intimidating. And I now have 3 books available on Amazon. So super exciting, you know, and I know, like I said, it's not like a crazy big book that is published through a major publisher, but that's okay. We have to start small. We have to do something, you know, that gets us over that hump. And you know, like I said, dip my toe in the water. So I'm super excited to share these with you guys, and I have a copy of each of them here so that I can actually show them to you. And I wanted to start out with the first one, which is my planner. So the thought process behind my planner is, I'll show you guys. I have used the same style of planner for years, since college. And it's the Moleskine, I don't know how to say it, but Moleskine is how I say it, is their weekly planner. So this is not my planner. I'm going to show you guys. This was my reference for making my planner. This is my Moleskine planner that I purchased for 2023 before I realized I was going to release a planner. And I wanted to show you guys the inside. It's very simple, but for me, it's exactly how my brain wants to work. So I've got a weekly layout with each day, and the number is just written under here for the date, and Saturday and Sunday are down here. But then I have this whole page over here that I can just write things in. So for me, if I have appointments or deadlines that need to happen on that day, I can put them here. But then if I have just other random stuff that's happening during the week or things that I would like to get done, but it's okay if I have to move it to the next week, I can put it all here. So I decided to take this layout, because that's what has worked for me for so long, and add some stuff to it and see if I can make it better and maybe a little bit more useful for people who crochet. So with that being said, this is my new, I'm going to stand up so I can show you guys, Crochet Planner, Life and Yarn, a planner for crocheters and yarn lovers. Now, this is the soft cover version, so you guys can see. It's a nice thick cover, kind of a matte cover. It's not super shiny, and you can see the cover here. It does feel to me well made. It's got the line right here, if you guys can see, to allow the book to open more easily. The binding, I don't know if there's a good way to show that, if it will focus on that. It'll be interesting to see how the binding holds up, because I am going to use it. But let's see, I'll show you guys a hardcover just so you guys can see the difference. So you can get it in a hardcover. This is not the planner. This is one of the journals that I'm going to show you. But that is the hardcover version. And I don't know why, but I was really, really excited about the barcode. It just makes it feel really real. There's a barcode on the back. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys. We'll do a little walkthrough, and actually let me flip the camera around so you guys can see it a little better. I do have some simple walkthrough videos already on YouTube that I'll get to share with you guys. But let me flip this. Let's do this so you guys can see it. All right, so we're going to flip the screen. Here we go. Okay, let's see if this will hold in place. All right, so Life in Yarn. All right, Crocheters Weekly Planner. So I have a little intro where people can connect with me, and then you have the This Planner Belongs To, and if found, please call/email. So you can enter that information here. And then, let's see, is this the first one? Okay. So because it's a crochet planner, I wanted the reference pages to make a little bit more sense for crocheters. So you've got your crochet abbreviations, just the simple ones. So I went with the most basic abbreviations. The common US to UK abbreviation translation, right? Yep. So different ones for US and Canada versus the UK. We have a standard yarn weight page. And I think next year I want to do another one that also includes the wraps per inch stuff. But you actually have space down here, so you could write in the wraps per inch measurements on this page if you wanted to. Then you have hook tracking. So you can track which hooks you already own. I went through and did all of the standard sizes, but I also added sizes that we make or other brands make that may not have a standardized sizing, but they do exist out in the world. So you can mark if you have it or not, or if you need to purchase it. And then we have a couple of pages of yarn tracking. So let's see. Yes, so we've got, I think, 4 pages of yarn stash / project planning. No, yeah, so I probably should have done one more page of those. I know we have a lot of yarn, but you've got the brand, dye lot, fiber content, weight, quantity, and what you plan to use it for. So I thought that would be really nice. And thanks, Winter. The hook tracking, I hadn't really seen that as much, so I thought that would be really nice. That was actually a request from either the Facebook group or the Discord channel, so I thought that was really nice. Which, again, I love that this was put together with y'all's help. It was not just me. So you've got a year at a glance. So, and I feel like this would be really great if you have the little sticky tabs. So you could put the little sticky tabs for each thing. So you could have like your year, you could have your tracking as a tab. Important dates, which is always nice to have. Birthdays. So that's always nice to have too, because I always forget people's birthdays. Okay, now we get into the meat and potatoes of the planner, which is the month and week breakdown. So January at a glance, you've got important dates and what that event is. So if you have craft shows, if you have meetings, if you have events that you want to go to, and then you also have to do this month. So if you have very specific things that you need to do within the month of January, you can put those here. But then this is what made it stand out. Another thing that makes it stand out from other planners is you have a couple of pages of project planning for each month. So you can have your project, the pattern source, what it is, if it's personal project, gift, or order, the materials you'll need, the deadline, any notes about the project, and then another one. So you have a couple of project options. You've got 1, 2, I think you have 6. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so 6 projects per month. And then it goes into your weekly breakdown. So this is an undated planner because I didn't want to do all of the work to create this and then it just become obsolete immediately when the new year comes. So for these, you would enter your date on each of these. But the good thing is I did 5 pages, so it doesn't matter when the dates start. You have 5 weeks per month to do your breakdown. So each week has the breakdown over here, which again was what I like for my old planners, and then a to-do list and notes for the week. And like I said, you'll have 5 of these, so you can start the week when you need to. And then it goes into the next month. So you've got February at a glance, February project planning, and then it breaks down into the weeks of February. So that is how it continues on for the entire book, the entire planner. And let's see. So I thought about doing like a weekly check-in or a weekly project updates, but as you can see, this is already quite a thick planner if we compare it to my planner. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't go too crazy and make sure that people actually like the layout, and then I can update one next year that maybe has something different, or maybe a daily planner or something like that. But I'm super happy with how it turned out. And like I said, yes, barcode's exciting. Okay, so that's number one. And I'm going to show you guys the other two real quick. We'll do a quick run through. And I've actually, so I know that I'm going to have a question about the bleed through of these, because the pages are not super thick, but they're also not super thin. I'm actually really happy with the pages. So I'm going to show you guys, because I got these little felty markers. So it's just like this kind of pen. So these are likely to bleed if pages are too thin. This is the Crochet Pattern Designer Journal. So if you have been thinking about designing patterns, or you already design patterns and you're like me and you love having everything in one place and kind of having a log, this is a cool way to do that. So this is also one of the soft cover options. So we've got Crochet Pattern Designer's Journal, how to connect with me, little intro. So here, and actually, as you can see, if I go back, this is how much it bleeds through. So see, I have actually written on the other side. It's not bad. It's really not bad. Now, I would probably not use a Sharpie, obviously, but if you're just using regular pens, so this was a dark purple felt tip pen that I was using. So not bad. So for the designer journal, you start out with project basics, and I'm actually doing my first one in here. So I'm really, really excited, and I'll show you guys what I'm working on for this one. But I wanted to make a new jacket in the Powerpuff collection. So I've got the Powerpuff jacket. And then I went through yarn, brand, weight, colors, fiber, content, skeins purchased, estimated. So this is really great for brainstorming too. So if you have yarn that you want to use, you have an idea, you can kind of start getting those ideas on paper. And then you've got here, when you get into the details, so project basics, project details, you've got the pattern name. So I decided I want to name it the Powerpuff Bomber Jacket. You can put your size range, the skill level that you want it to be, additional notes. So I was kind of wrote some design notes about it that I knew I wanted to work bottom up. I wanted it to have a ribbed bottom border, and I wanted it collared. Then you can sketch it, so you guys can see my little sketch. And here's another great way. So you see it does bleed at the teeniest bit, but not bad. Not bad at all. I've got some design notes on sizing. So you've got 2 pages for sketches. I think 4 pages for notes. Let's see, design pattern notes. Yeah, 4 pages for notes. And then progress checklist. So choosing your yarn, choosing stitches, brainstorming ideas, making gauge swatches, all of those wonderful things. And then share about pattern on social media, i.e. shout it from the rooftops. Woohoo! And then it goes on to your next project. So this would be project number 2. I think there's room for 13 projects, 10 to 13. One of them's 10, one of them's 13. So you've got the Crochet Designer Journal. Now, for those of you who would much rather test crochet patterns than design them, we have the Crochet Pattern Tester Journal. So this is the only one I bought in a hardcover, just because I wanted to check the hardcover out, and it feels nice. This is a nice hardcover. Binding is the same. I think it's just glued in here, like one of the soft covers glued into the hardcover backing. But it opens nicely here. So this one actually has some resources. Since I have a lot of resources for pattern testers, I've got tips on becoming a pattern tester, making a gauge swatch, being a successful crochet pattern tester, and then how to connect with me. All right, so this one, it's similar to the other one, but this really sets you up to make sure that you take all of the notes that you need for your pattern tests. You've got basic project information, and then you've got the designer's information, so you can figure out, how they want to be contacted, email. if they, you know, have a preferred method of communication. You've got your intro pattern notes, the hooks engage, which I love this because obviously we don't always use what we end up what the designer suggests. So you've got the suggested yarn and all of this information, but you also have what you actually ended up using. You've got gauge information. Let's see. This was important too because not every designer wants progress photos shared. And then you can have the launch date set for the pattern if that's, you've got the release date so you can remember to help them promote. You've got a progress checklist from received the pattern all the way to shared final photos. And then you've got initial pattern notes and measurements, notes and feedback, and then the next one. So 2 pages for notes and feedback, but you won't need as much if you were, as if from what you would need if you were designing. But that's the whole thing. So if you wanted a really cool log, like if pattern testing is really your thing, this is a great way to have it all in one place and be able to go back and look at what you completed last year. It just makes me happy. And I'm that kind of person. I kept journals my whole life. And so having this kind of stuff, you know, I don't keep journals as often now, like a daily journal, but this is a great way to keep a log of, you know, the projects that you completed throughout the year. So that is all of my Amazon books now in a nutshell. I obviously want to do more. I want to do just a crochet project journal. So very, very similar to the pattern tester journal, but for people who just want to keep track of the projects that they created in that year. So I think that would be really nice as well. Okay, let me flip this back around. Let's see. Did that work? Oops, I'm gonna do that one more time. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so let me, I was not watching the comments, so let me go back through the comments really quick. Let's see. And thank you guys. I was really excited about these. Maybe too excited, but I think it's anything that we see as a big step. You know, you have to allow yourself to be excited and, you know, give yourself that compliment to yourself of like, you made the jump and you did it. And it may, some people, it may not seem like that would have been that difficult, but it is, you know. Love the cover, 10 out of 10 accurate and cute. Love the layout. Thank you guys. If I were to write another book, I would probably self-publish for many reasons. Critters Crochet ordered theirs yesterday. Can't wait to get it. Yay! I hope you guys love it. I hope you love it. I hope you enjoy it. It's just exciting to have it out in the world. I was like, even if it is not, again, even if it's not that successful, it felt like such a kind of roadblock for me of like getting over that hump and saying, okay, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. It may not be perfect. There might be typos in there. I hope there's not. I know I looked, but it happens. But you gotta make that jump. You gotta put yourself out there, put it out there, get the feedback, make it better, and then keep moving on. These will not be the only ones I do, especially now that I've done it. I feel like it's doable, you know. Let's see. I'm excited for this. I started working with a Google spreadsheet budget template yesterday and feel much better about money stuff. That's good. Excel is a lifesaver. Let's see. I'm so glad you guys are chatting with each other in the chat, by the way. I will not read everybody's conversations, but that makes me really happy. Kim says they likes the hardcover. I do too. I kind of want to, like I said, if I publish another one, I'll probably get another hardcover just so I've got another one, because it's really nice. And yes, the camera, please focus on this item. Struggle, especially when it's not focused on me. I'm just staying here and then it just goes out of focus for no reason. And yes, barcodes feel very legit. And Jess says, I was super excited when I got an ISBN number. So cool. Love that you're doing this. And that's next. So my plan is to turn my Pattern Writer's Handbook into a physical book that people can purchase, because that's one that's done really well as a downloadable piece. And I feel like I could put so much more in there with like areas for people to take notes and like write things down and, you know, have project trackers. So that is next up on my list. Kim says I'm going to record my yarn stash this week. I don't know if I could even do that to myself. I wouldn't want to, no, I'll just make sure I can see it all. Thorn says, makes sense now that special hooks are more common. Exactly. There's so many people that are making hooks now that I think that makes it a little bit easier too to find the in-between sizes. And I never realized that having no dates felt like less pressure. That's really interesting, because for me, I struggled with the undated planners because I just wanted it to be there. I would rather just buy a new planner every year. Maybe because I know that I use them so heavily that I don't think I feel that pressure of filling it out. But that's really good to know that for a lot of people that's an issue, because I would not have thought of that. Bulky planner for bulky hooks and yarn. Exactly. I see what you did there. One thing to maybe consider is leaving enough margin at the binding that the binding could be cut and then spiral bound by the customer. That's a good idea. And I actually, so that's somebody, it looks like somebody brought it up, but I have a digital version of this. So there is now a digital version of this exact planner in my Etsy shop that actually has more options. So there's a daily check-in, there's weekly WIP trackers. So if you want a weekly check-in for all of your projects, so that's available in my Etsy shop. So if there are people that want to completely customize a planner for themselves, it's available in an 8x10 and it's available in an A5 format. And there is a colorful version and there is a black and white version. So it's got all the pages that you could possibly want, and then you just have to figure out what order you want them in, how you want them to be printed. And I've already had a couple people who have said that they've sent them off to be spiral bound. So that's super exciting. So that is an option as well, and it is much more affordable. So it's like half the cost of the printed planner. So the printed soft cover is $12.99. The digital version is $7.50. So that's an option if you want to do that. Let's see. Winter says the same thing about the dates. Having an undated planner is helpful. Kim says, love this sketch. You can make stickers of each of your garments. I know me and the stickers. That was a fun sketch too. I'm not a sketcher, but I had to do it for that one so that I could show people how it's used, you know. Love the sticker idea, colorful. I just lost it, jumped. Colorful, sketchy look is cute. Totally would punch the holes so that I could put the pages that are active in my current planner. I have my active planner and pages moved to active archive binders for each type of project. So definitely check out the digital version because that would probably make more sense for you. Suggested versus used is practical. Glad you guys like it. Let's see. And yes, it is very important to recognize your own successes and give yourself a pat on the back. I agree, Thorn and Captain Fabulous. Let's see. Thorn says, I thought I was done with physical planners, but I'm considering the physical version of the designer journal. And that's not even a planner. That's a journal. So it's different. Again, no pressure. You fill it out as you want to. Get your ideas down. I think it's good. Jamie's here. Yes, and I'll tell you, Jamie, I just get it. I got to that point where I was like, this has to happen before 2023. And Amazon, when you self-publish, which I should do a whole video on it in case anyone's interested, because it's really easy, especially with Canva being a thing now. But I realized like maybe 2 or 3 weeks before 2023 that I wanted this to happen before 2023. And so I think I took an entire day, and just one day to like put all of this together. And then it takes a while, you know, for Amazon, it's I think up to 2 weeks for them to actually approve. It can be sooner, but sometimes I think it's like a week to 2 weeks to approve it. And I had to get both the soft cover and the hard covers approved separately. So yeah, it's that was why, because I was like, gotta push it through. This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. I'm gonna make it happen before 2023, and that's exactly what I was doing. So the good news is I have more that I want to do. And I most likely will have other planner options. I thought about doing one that was more of like a daily check-in. But I had to just make it happen. I was like, if I put more steps in there, then I may not even do it. And I think that's why. I think that's it's the patience thing, you guys. I have never had patience. Why do you think I work with bulky yarn? Number one is that things work up faster. Number two, things work up faster. Number three, see number 1 and 2. That's why. Patience is not my virtue. But you know, it happens. We all have the things we're good at. We have the things that we struggle with. Mine is patience. Let's see. Thank you, Terry. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're here. Let's see. Sindra says, Jess, I have already printed a bunch of pages. And Jess says, I don't always write it down right away, just record as a voice message on my phone, then write it down later so that doesn't disappear from my thoughts. I love that idea of using voice messages. I've had a lot of people who say they do that. I use a little notes app on my phone for things that pop in my brain. And let's see. It feels wasted if I don't use a dated page. And you know, I think that's why I like the weekly better. Because the weekly layout, I don't feel like I have to check in every day. So I think that's where my pressure comes from, of having the weekly, you know, makes me feel better. And let's see. I've gotten so much more done by documenting ideas in some way. Obviously, there for me to refer to, but it also helps empty my brain to make room for other stuff. It's like a pensieve on Harry Potter. Like, I wish we could just take our thoughts out and put them in a little bowl and go check them out later, and then we can archive all of our thoughts, and then it doesn't take up space in our brain. I think we should figure out how to do that. It feels like the journal is asking for a year-long commitment, and I'm like, journal, I don't want to lead you on. I may not be able to commit that long. Well, and the good thing is with these journals, it's not for a year. It's for whenever you want. It could take you 2 years to fill this out. It doesn't matter. It's there and it's waiting for you when you're ready. It's like a diary, an undated diary. Mickey says, I love journaling too. So these are great. And that's why I said I do want to come up with a couple more journals that are a little more like a project planner, project tracker, or just a journal, like a crochet journal, you know, something. We'll figure those out. And Thorn says, I meant notebooks of all kinds. I used to write my poems in them. Now I write digitally, but true, they're distinct things. Not trying to break their little paper hearts. Oh, Jess, I hope you love it. I hope you enjoy it. You know, I do want to try to put together a version of that that's fully ready to go to the printer. But again, it's figuring out, I want people to be able to customize it. So that's a difficult one too. That's why these were so hard, because it was like, I know what my brain wants, but not everybody's going to feel that way. So this is just the first combination for me to try, for this one being mostly a weekly check-in. But, you know, more to come now that I know I can handle it. I like the overall weekly, monthly views. It's exactly how I use documenting and journaling. Pour out the brain containers. And Winter says, I hate cutting shipping labels. My skills with scissors are terrible. Get a thermal printer. Best thing I ever did for my business. Probably not ever, but one of the best things I could have done was get a thermal printer so that I no longer have to do that. It's amazing, and it's 100% worth it. There's no ink. No ink. So you're not buying ink. I think I bought in this whole year maybe 4 things of the thermal labels, you know, the sticker labels, and you just peel them and stick them. Amazing. Totally worth it. And yes, a pensieve is from Harry Potter, and a bullet people. So you can use your wand and you take a thought out of your head so that it's no longer in there, and you put it in a container. And then the pensieve is the bowl where you pour the thought into the bowl, and then you can actually view it. So it's literally like putting your thoughts into a projector and then watching them, and not in your head. Yeah. I will totally let you know how they work. For me, it has to work better than Ziploc bags of paper scraps waiting to go into their binders. Yes, true. And Jess says, I love my thermal printer. Yeah, it was a really good choice for me to get a thermal printer. Okay, so there are a few more things I wanted to share with you guys. Since this is like sneak peek for 2023. Goals for the business. So for Pink Sheep in general, we're going to keep on trucking, doing what we've been doing. We're working on our first hook release of the new year, which should happen maybe in January, but I'm not 100% sure. Either January or February, we'll have a hook release. I have new designs. I'm actually going to share a few with you guys. So I decided to do my first non-crochet related design to release in January. More of like a mantra, because I know we talk a lot about mantras and self-affirmations and things in the new year. So this is going to be a January release. Meet Desmond the Lemon. Be better, not bitter. So that will be a fun little release that I'm going to be putting out there this month. I just have to get everything ready because I was trying to get the planner stuff ready and other things ready. But Desmond the Lemon will be releasing this month. He's super fun. So that'll be a good one. And then I have 2 more that I'm going to share with you guys that will be releasing in February and March. One of them is just a little hanky-panky. See if it'll focus for you. Here we go. So it's a hank of yarn. I kept and it's just all my stickers. I haven't opened this one yet. And then I have another one that will be ready for release, and that is coffee and cake. So you've got your little cake of yarn and your coffee pot and your crochet hook. Coffee and cake. So all 3 of those are designed. I just have to release them. So I like to plan ahead. That way I don't feel that pressure of like, okay, it's a new month and I need to release something. So these are all ready to release throughout the new year. I have finished, let's see where I put it. Well, I thought I brought it in here with me. Maybe I didn't. Oh, it's right here. So I have finished my Enid snood, my version of the Enid snood. I need to weave the ends in. But this is what it looks like. I tried to make it nice and long. And so then you've got the, whoop, flip over. There we go. So that's my version. And I think it is going to be a free pattern on my blog. as well as a PDF. So if people, I know there's a lot of people who like to support me by purchasing the PDFs, even if it's a free pattern. So I want to have it available as both. But this will be my Enid snood, which obviously you can make in black if you want to make the Wednesday snood. And if anyone has no idea what I'm talking about, Netflix has a new Wednesday Addams Family spinoff called Wednesday. And there was a big thing where they had crochet snoods. So Wednesday's friend, Enid, and I guess at the end they really are friends, but she really wanted to be her friend, made her a snood and made herself a snood. And then you can also add little tassels because hers had little tassels on it. But I finished that, so that's on my to-do list. And let's see. I'm also working on, I showed you guys, this is the Powerpuff Bomber jacket that you guys saw my notes for in the journal. So it's got the ribbed bottom with 2 strands of super bulky, and then I'm using my blanket yarn. So it's bottom up, like so. And it's going to be like a little bomber jacket with the super jumbo blanket yarn. And I'm using this yarn, Chubby Chanel. Let's see, what else? Powerpuff vest and Max jacket are coming very soon. I promise, within the next 2 months. So the Powerpuff vest is almost ready. The Max jacket is ready. I'm waiting for one more tester to take photos, and I'll be able to release the Max jacket that's based on the jacket Max from Stranger Things season 4 wore during the show. So that will be ready. So within the next month or two, I'll have 2 new pattern releases coming out, and a third one that's a secret right now. And the Enid snood will be coming out. So I guess that's 4. Within the next 2 months, I should have 4 patterns coming out. So I'm excited about those. That'll be good. And I have one more thing that I have not officially announced yet. It was in the email yesterday, but it was down towards the bottom. So if you didn't scroll all the way down, you may not have seen it. We are going to do a Valentine's Day / Galentine's Day mystery box. Now, what's special about these boxes is we decided to put an uncoated hybrid crochet hook into the box this time instead of one of our fully 3D printed ones. So this will be a smaller hook size because it's a hybrid. Our hybrids only go up to a 10 millimeter. You will get a pattern as well included that's designed to be used with the hook that you receive. But the great thing about this is we were able to offer these boxes for $75 instead of our normal $100 box price point. So this will be a less expensive box option. And it's going to be a hook, mystery hook, crochet pattern designed for the box, which is the one that I'm working on that is a secret right now. And Valentine's Day goodies, just some fun stuff. So if you just want a box of joy on Valentine's Day and a new hook to have in your collection and a new pattern to try, those are now in my Etsy shop. So if you want a Valentine's Day box, if you've never tried one of our boxes, we try to include some crochet related stuff. Some of it's just fun, holiday themed goodies, and this one will be that way since it's a lower price point. We just want to have fun with this one and throw some things in that we think you might enjoy. And I do have a space for allergies. If you have a skin allergy or food allergies, you can include that. We try to make sure that these are a little tailored to the people that are purchasing them so you don't feel left out. But we're excited. We're excited about these. The pre-orders will be open, I'm not really sure, at least a week or 2. I'm going to officially announce probably tomorrow that these are available. But that is the end of our hour. I'm so glad you guys got to join me. I think next week I'll probably talk about some of the storage stuff that I've been doing because I know that's always fun to see how other people are organizing and storing things. I bought some new storage things on Amazon that I could share with you guys. So if you've been looking at things on Amazon for extra storage in your house, I can show you what I've purchased. And then I can also show you, I've been doing some rearranging up here. As you may have noticed or may not, I actually have a lot more finished objects in my bookshelf now so that I can actually see everything. So I'm moving a lot of things around, trying to reorganize, reevaluate, making sure that what I'm doing. And yes, winter, you can. That's why I said Valentine's/Galentine's. It is whatever you like, and it should be very gender neutral things. I mean, obviously pink and red is Valentine's, so I can't get around that as much if I'm buying Valentine's stuff and hearts and things, but it should be really fun. I'm really excited. I'm really excited about this one. It's a little less pressure than some of the other ones that we've done, and I just want to have fun with it, and I hope you guys enjoy it if you decide you want one. So yes, but thank you guys again for coming today and joining in on our chat. First one of the new year. I hope you guys have an amazing 2023. I will probably be live this Friday on Instagram talking about similar things because I have a different audience that joins me there. So I'll probably go do another walkthrough of my planners and books. But if you want to join on that conversation, be sure to be following me over on Instagram at Pink Sheep Design. And yeah, I will talk to you all soon. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye. Happy hooking.